Alright, hello Amazing World YouTube. So, we are going to make a very long tier list video, which will be separated into two parts. We're going to do the first three games, which I'm going to sort of call the original trilogy of Kingdom Rush, and then the second video, which will be the villains of the prequel trilogy of the what you call it, Kingdom Rush universe. So, we're going to rank all what is currently 7 bosses of Kingdom Rush. Technically 46 because these two ancient ghosts here are technically in the same stage, but 47 if we just go by the numbers. So we're going to first do Kingdom Rush Origins, Kingdom Rush, and then Kingdom Rush Frontiers, and then the next video we're going to do Vengeance and Alliance. So let's get started. So let's start off with the OG Juggernaut here. So Juggernaut, he's your very first boss, so I remember back in 2012, the very first time I faced him, he was hard. But after I got used to the game, he's not hard at all. But he's a very nostalgic villain. And you know one thing, or boss, sorry. One thing I will say about the bosses of Kingdom Rush. The first game I think has the best music score, and I love the boss music for it. I don't want to call Juggernaut easy peasy lemon squeezy, even though he kind of is after you go all through the others. Just the very first time you face him, like the very first time you play a game, he's gonna be tough. I'm not gonna put him as easy, but I'm gonna put him between medium and easy personally, just because very first time you face him, he'll be tough. But then like after all the others, you're gonna be like, oh, he's not that hard at all. So we're gonna go with Juggernaut as between medium and easy. Now, next one, JT. Um, I'm gonna put him above Juggernaut, but I'm gonna put him as between medium and easy. He and by the way I'm going off this is kind of like how much damage they're dealing, what are their gimmicks, like are they freezing towers, are they destroying towers, like and then how many troops they come with. That's what I'm looking at. And you know, Juggernaut here actually doesn't come with any troops. He only has those golem heads things. But other than that, that's about it. JT, he does come in with a lot of Yetis. And the Yetis are tough at that point in the game, I will say. And he does freeze your towers, and he does insta-kill the troops. So he's definitely a step up from Juggernaut, but kind of like Juggernaut, once you go through the other bosses, he's just not that hard. So I'm gonna put him as between medium and easy as well, just especially with other bosses you get. So that's what I'm gonna say for JT. Next, we're looking for Veznen. I'm actually gonna put Veznen as hard. He is slow, but he has a lot of troops. He deals quite a bit of damage, but also, even though you get used to it immediately after, his demon transformation comes out of nowhere, and it deals good damage, insta-kill the troops. So Veznen, I'm going to put as hard. If you said he was medium, I would not fault you for that. If you put him in the easier between medium and easy, I'm going to kind of say, hold on, I don't agree on that one at all. But I'm going to put him as hard just because the very first time you play him, that will definitely take you by surprise. So I'm going to put Vezina as hard, personally, on that one. Now we're going to go, so those are the main campaign bosses of Kingdom Rush. We're not going to go into the mini campaign bosses. Let's start with Molik. Molik, he's hard. He's hard. I would definitely put him above Vezina, though. Molik, he insta-kills the troops. He's fast. His demons are very annoying and very hard to deal with. And he is definitely a tough boss. I would give him, but also just that whole stage. I believe it's called like Pandemonium Pit, whatever it's called. It's just a very tough level. I would definitely say Moloch deserves the hard category. But the reason I'm not gonna put him as difficult, if you put him as difficult, I would not fault you for that. But I'm not gonna put him as difficult. Reason being, it has to do with one reason. I didn't have to redo the map multiple times. And one thing I will say is nice about him, even though he comes with a lot of troops, has a fair bit of health and anti-barrack, he doesn't really dismantle your towers, so that kind of helps you out a lot. But I'm gonna put him as hard for that reason. So then, next one, let's go with Sarogaz. I'm gonna put Sarogaz as hard. Here's why. If you put Sarogaz as medium, I'd be okay. If you put him as difficult, difficult is basically my version of impossible, by the way. I'm not gonna fall for that. Sarogaz, the main thing that's going for Sarogaz, a lot of health, has one of the highest health of all the bosses in the entire game. The Sons of Sarogaz spires, which have high magic resistance, are very annoying, but also comes in with a lot of troops that just swarm you. The Sarogaz will not say it's difficult because if you just have a good amount of mortars, you can really take down Sarogaz and all the troops that come with the Spider Queen. But other than that, I wouldn't. I'd say it's above medium just because of how you have to stay on your toes with all the enemies you have to fight against. But other than that, so I would personally say I technically I'm gonna put him above Vezinen, even though Vezinen here shocks you more than Sargas. You kind of expect Sargas to be because it's a post-campaign level, and Sargas does have a lot more troops that come in than Vezinen. Vezinen, I'm gonna put it above Vezinen actually. Yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm not gonna put it above Moloch though, because Moloch's stage itself was a lot harder than Sargas's. So yeah, but Sargas definitely a tough boss, and yeah, but if you just have a lot of mortars and you know what you're doing, Big Bertha or Tesla, you're gonna be fine on that level. And yeah, so that I'm not gonna put it as difficult just because I didn't find myself having to redo the level so many times to get 3 stars. But that's what I'd say on that one. So next we have Kingpin. I'm gonna put Kingpin as medium. Kingpin heals. He doesn't deal any damage except for the fact that he cannot be stopped and he rolls on that card and he kind of insta kills any trooper here that goes up against him just because the card will not stop. The healing is annoying. I'd say the hardest part about Kingpin is that he comes in with a lot of pillagers and bandits and raiders. Other than that, though, he wasn't that bad. I don't think I'd say that he's definitely above JT and Juggernaut just because of his support troops and the fact that he heals. The healing was very annoying, but I never consider him as hard or difficult, so I'm gonna put him as that. So, medium difficulty for Kingpin, if you ask me. Who do you call it? Let's go with I can never pronounce this guy's name. It's like Ul Cluck something or Olhuck. I can't pronounce his name. But this troll guy, he's medium too. I would say Kingpin was hard just because he couldn't be stopped. He does have a shield and he does heal, similar to Kingpin. But if you just have your hero and a lot of barracks stall him with an arcane tower, you can take him down pretty easily. And he can be stopped and stalled. He cannot be stopped and stalled, which is why I'm going to say he's harder than the troll guy here. But troll guy here, the thing that's more annoying about this guy isn't even him as a boss, it's his waves that come with him. Troll breakers aren't that bad. They have a lot of health, but they go down pretty quickly. But something annoying about them is all those troll pathfinders. You have to just literally make sure they don't cross the finish line the exit for you to lose lives. But I would say he's medium tier. I would not say he's as easy as these guys here, but I'd put him as medium tier. I'd say Veznen was harder just because of the shock. But yeah, his healing is annoying, but he can be stalled and then you can get him pretty quickly. So that's that. This guy, I'm kind of like the King Rush community. I didn't find this guy that hard. I think the reason maybe he is a hard boss and I just don't realize it. But my problem with him is he's in the post campaigns, and after facing off him, this guy, and even oh gosh, I should have done Greenluck before him. After you face Greenluck, you just expected a lot more from this guy, but then he didn't deliver. So he's probably more like he may potentially be medium or here, but he's just easy just because his other bosses are just the way he's just easy by comparison to those other bosses. But I did not find Myclid here, whatever his name is, to be that hard. So I'm putting him as easy. Green Muck on the other end, difficult. Okay. He has a fair bit amount of health. He deals global damage to the map, but mainly he has so many treants that you have to keep up with, and just so many troops between the husks, swamp things, and then the treants. Just so many treants. If you have what you call it, whatever that bomb thing they have from the item shop. If you have that, it'll be pretty easy. But if you're trying to complete it without that and just the towers, Green Muck here is a very difficult boss. He swarms you similar to Sarlgaz here, but for some reason his swarms are just way hard. I think it's because you don't have Sarlgaz gives you a lot of time to move. He moves pretty fast, and also he deals global damage, so that's about it. But yeah, Green Muck here, difficult tier, one of the hardest bosses of all of Kingdom Rush for sure. So that's that, and then I believe I have one more OG Kingdom Rush boss. Where is? No, I have two more. I forgot about Lord Blackburn. Lord Blackburn is actually an interesting one. He has high armor, but kind of similar to the troll guy here. You can stall him and then get him. If you put him as hard, I would not fault you for that. I'm going to personally put him as medium. And here's... No, I'm kind of on the fritz. He's definitely harder than these two. He's probably harder than Veznen. Like I said, the reason Veznen kind of gets to be here in this hard rating is more because he kind of shocks you with that demon transformation the very first time. Then he's kind of not too bad. He here can disable towers. He has armor, so he's immune to a lot of physical damage, archers, artillery, and barracks. But just stall him with the Earth Elemental in the barracks, and then have the Sorcerer and Arcane Wizard take him down, and then you can take him down pretty quickly. Although he can disable them, that can get difficult. You know what? I'm going to put him as hard. I'm going to put him, though, as the least hardest of these guys. If you put him as medium, I wouldn't blame you for that, but I'm going to put him as hard, personally, just because his tower disabling can get you if you're not careful. But if you stall him with the wizards, you're pretty good. So, yeah, and then, now this guy. I would call him medium, too. I would say that he's the hardest. He's the top medium of these guys, just because the forest trolls he comes with keep you on your toes, but he has no armor, so he's not bad. That's the key thing with Lord Blackburn. He has more gimmicks that kind of force you to have to work and strategize. You have a lot to deal with between the orc champions, the forest trolls, and some of these other enemies. But other than that, I didn't find him to be that bad. But I would say these four right here. And I'd say Green Muck, I don't... all these guys here could be variable. Green Muck, no, I think most of the community would back me up with him being difficult. But no, I'd say he's medium. I would not put him as hard. Just Lord Blackburn, I think the thing that saves him more is he has armor and can stall. So, yeah, but, yeah, that's what I'd say on that. So, yeah, these are all the bosses of Kingdom Rush, the OG Kingdom Rush. So now, let's go into Frontiers, the second game that was released. This guy, people hate this guy. I would definitely say, though, he is easier than Myclid here. People hate this genie guy. Nazru, I think is his name. People hate him for being such an easy boss, and I will admit, he's a pretty easy boss, but I will say this. If you play on veteran difficulty, he has a lot of health. Actually, no, he doesn't have a lot of health. If you have a lot of Archmages, you'll be able to take him down pretty quickly. But one thing I will say, he can polymorph the towers, and that can take you by surprise. But other than that, he's pretty easy. He's definitely easier than Myclid here. But, yeah, Nazareth, people do not like him, and I will say I don't blame him, but his polymorph towers, if you get cocky, can get you. Quinn Khan here, I'm gonna also put him as easy. I actually found Quinn Khan to be easier than Nazru personally. Just reason being, Nazru, if you're not careful, the polymorphing of the towers can get you. But Nazru, or Quinn Khan, sorry, pretty chill boss actually. He's just a big old, he's basically King Kong. He's a lot of mini gorillas, but at that point you have the battle mechas. So if you have a lot of battle mechas, you're gonna be good. And you have a lot of troops come out between the jungle spiders, the matriarchs, and then all the savages, spirits, shaman, blood tricksters, and all that. But Quinn Khan I actually found to be the easiest boss personally of Kingdom Rush Frontiers. I would say Nazru's just a tad bit harder just because he can actually disable your towers. But Quinn Khan, I'd say, was a very easy boss, and these two were definitely very easy. These two probably could be in the same category, but because it's your first time, they kind of get to be between medium and easy. But yeah, I'd say these two were very easy bosses. Now, Umbra. Oh, this guy definitely gets an impossible. I'm gonna have to say, I think Green Muck was harder for me personally, as hard as Umbra was. Here's, I'd say, a key difference. Umbra, you know to expect something hard, especially if you're like me and you played Kingdom Rush before, all of Kingdom Rush before going to Frontiers. So you're kind of expecting something Frontiers. So Green Muck kind of, I'm going to put as more difficult just because you really don't expect it. Umbra, you're going to expect something, especially when you see his healing. But Umbra, I will admit, I probably did have to take more repeats of that stage to actually 3-star on veteran difficulty. His shadow, his shade elementals are very difficult to deal with in veteran difficulty. I cannot stress that enough. So I he's definitely I would put him as one of the hardest bosses of King Rushing. He's definitely the hardest main campaign boss if you ask me. But yeah, Umbra definitely a difficult boss, and those shade elementals will swarm you if you're not careful, and he'll just take away your towers like nothing. So yeah, he's definitely earned a spot in difficult tier. So that's that. Then no, that's Origins. Where are the other bosses? Here is Levi. I can't pronounce this guy's name. He's sort of like a Kraken type character, but for an ending campaign boss, he was really actually not that bad. Actually, he was actually not that bad at all. I had a harder time with these guys personally. Okay, I'm gonna put him as a medium, but I'm gonna put him as the least hardest of the medium. Here's why. What makes him I was half tempted to put him in here because I will admit he comes with a lot of storm troops, but you know what? You can only attack him in the water, and that is annoying. And he does have a lot of health, so for that reason, I'm gonna put him in medium. But he doesn't do much. He disables some towers, but I'd say the hardest thing about him is that he's in the water, so he's a little hard to get. Other than that, he just was not a bad boss. If you put him between medium and easy, I would not call him easy peasy lemon squeezy like these guys. But if you said he was medium or like between me or said sorry, I said medium. If you said he's between medium and easy, I would not fault you for that. But I'd say the hardest thing about him is that he's in the water, and like you have to be careful that your towers actually have enough range to get him. But other than that, I didn't find him to be that bad of a boss. So I'd say there. Zizzy Lizard King. He's another medium. I would put him above. You know what? I would put him as the hardest medium over these guys, and here's why. He deals global damage. He comes with quite a few Saurians. The death coils are one of the most annoying troops I ever had to deal with. But if you get a bunch of assassins and archmages, you can take him down pretty quickly. But he is very fast, so I will also say that. But I'd say the global damage and his speed are mainly what put him as a medium tier. And I would say, compared to these guys, I probably did have a hard time with him just because of his global damage and speed. But if you have the assassins, their global damage won't even affect him. Then if you have a bunch of archmages, you'll take him down pretty quickly. But I would say Zizzy here has earned a medium tier spot. I would not say he's on par with these guys, but I would not say he's on par with these guys. Maybe Vezin, but like I said, Vezin's shock value is kind of what gets him in the hard tier spot. So yeah, that's what I have to say about Zizzy here. Vasil, this guy. Oh, this guy was actually pretty annoying. You know what? I would put him as hard. Okay, if you put him as medium, I would not fight for that. Here's what makes Vasil hard. He comes in with a lot of those Vampirissa and mobs who are very hard to kill, actually. Obviously, the hero you have, I forget the temporary hero's name you have in that level, she can't insta-kill them, but if she's dead or stuck on the other side of the map where Vasil isn't, it's just a very tough level. I would actually put him above. He has 2 stages, and one of them he has a death aura, so like none of the troops or heroes can hold him. So I would say actually he's a tough boss. Actually, I would give him that. I would give him hard tier status just because he has 2 stages, and mainly the Vampirissas are what make him hard, and you have to like stay on your toes. So I would give him hard tier. If you said medium, I wouldn't fault you on that, but I would say he's definitely a hard boss. And I think yeah, that is it for Kingdom Rush Frontiers. I forgot there's only 6. So now we're not going to go into Kingdom Rush Origins. Let's start off with Hi Ina. Hey Hyena is pretty easy. I'd say, uh, yeah, these two are definitely easier than Hyena if you ask me. Um, I guess the main gimmick with Hyena is the fact that they're fast, kind of similar to Zizzy here. Has a lot of null troops, but that's actually a boss from I quote Kingdom Rush Origins is personally the hardest of the Kingdom Rush games. But this boss was actually not too bad. They just literally said, "Look, we're just gonna get your feet wet." So I'd say that one. Oh, I forget this boss's name. What is that boss's name? I actually do not remember. Here, while I pull it up on a sheet real quick, let me talk to Godiath. Godiath here is hard. I do not care what anyone says. I would put him above this deal. Godiath has a lot of troops that are very annoying, and like the sons of Godiath are annoying. Uh, and also those obnoxious spitter things are very genuinely it's a tough. This is a tough boss, and also Godiath has a lot of health. That's also what makes Godiath hard. So I would put Godiath as a hard, not so hard it's difficult. If you said medium, that's your personal opinion, but I would say Godiath is definitely a hard tier boss. If you ask me. And by the way, I just saw it here on this little spreadsheet I made. Ma Malicia, I believe is how you pronounce it. Okay, this boss can disable towers, has quite a few Twilight Avengers, Harassers, and what were those other things? I think they're called Cutthroats. Little bosses. I have a funny story actually about this boss. I actually was playing it and I actually fell asleep while playing it because I was just in a gaming mode and I accidentally fell asleep and then I woke up and saw I beat the level with all my towers as they were and uh I won I 3-star level. So if you say Melissa is hard for XYZ, I'm not gonna follow you, but in my case, I guess my tower defense was set up really good where I was able to fall asleep by accident and it worked out. I'm gonna put her as medium tier personally, just because I didn't find that. Yeah, I'm gonna put them between medium and easy. I'm sorry. Maybe that I might be doing this boss dirty, but well, if I fell asleep and my towers were fine, I don't know what to say. You can either believe that story or not, but yeah, I'm gonna say that. Now, Spider Goddess on the other hand, which is the combination of Militia and that other spider who references sagas. I would actually put this as hard tier. Spider Goddess here has some of the most health in the game. I believe it's like on veteran. I'm going off veteran difficulty health. I remember it was like 18,000. Very difficult because it has so much health. Can disable towers and actually remove them if I remember right. Has a lot of enemies come with them, especially the spider hatchlings. Those things are annoying. You gotta stay on your toes. Spider Goddess is definitely a tough boss, unlike this boss and this boss here. Not as hard as like Umbro and Green Milk here, but I would say I had a harder time with Spider Goddess than I did any of these other bosses personally. Maybe Vasile I had a harder time with. Godiath, Godiath and Spider Goddess here are actually pretty even. These four, I could interchange any of these four here as long as they're in these first four spots because I had a hard time with them personally. But yeah, I would say Spider Goddess is the hardest. Is one of the hard bosses, and for me personally, has earned this rank. If you said difficult, I wouldn't follow you for that. If you even said medium, I wouldn't follow you for that. If you know the strategy behind it, but between the health, the damage, disabling towers, and all the troops that come with him, with her, sorry, I'm gonna put her as hard tier category. So that's my opinion. Banjin the hater. Okay, I would actually put this guy as difficult. Not as hard as these guys. I had a tough time with this guy. He is fast, but also here's the key. Besides the fact that he's fast and takes the time to destroy any of your barrack troops and heroes, he's the other bosses. kind of, they already move slow. He's already fast, like I said, but he doesn't have a very long way from the exit of the level, okay? Like, he is able to get there pretty quick, and if you're not careful, he will take out your troops. If you distract him good enough with your troops to make sure that they don't die, like the way I beat him was I had my forest keepers to make sure they were able to keep healing with that healing spell because I had like 4 of them in the same place. You can get him, but if you don't get him, one little mess up and you're screwed. And for that reason, because one little mess up will destroy you, I would put him as difficult. If you put him as hard, I will not fight you. If you put him as medium and such, I'd say, wow, you're pretty cracked at the game then. I will not lie. I play the games, I know, but I would not necessarily say I'm cracked at them. But I would put him as difficult personally. Not I didn't have as hard of a time with him with Banjin here as I did Umbra and Greenmuck, but I would put him as difficult tier person. And lastly, the last villain of the original trilogy of Kingdom Rush games, the Beheader. Beheader here. I personally played Banjin here before I did the Beheader. I would put him as hard, actually. Definitely put him above Blackburn and Vesnan. Zeal. I would not put him above Godia. Beheader here, if you said he was medium, I would not fault you for that. But Beheader, he does insta-kill the troops. He has a lot of blood nulls, and that keeps you on your feet. The main thing that's kind of making him be in the hard category is he has a lot of support troops. That's what's annoying. And he's actually very quick. Now, I wouldn't say he's as fast as this guy, but he's very quick. So for that reason, I'm putting him as hard. I did not have as a hard time, though, with him as I did Godia and Spider Goddess. But, I would not call him easy peasy lemon squeezy. And the iron and heroic challenges of Beheader's seat levels are probably the hardest iron and heroic challenges you will ever have to do in the entirety of Kingdom Rush. So yeah, otherwise, that's part 1 of the entire ranking of all the bosses of Kingdom Rush. So we went over the Origins, OG, and Frontiers, and in the next video we're going to go over the bosses from Vengeance, DLC included, as well as Kingdom Rush Alliance. Hope you enjoy.